Welcome to Injury Scale Models. I'm Jason, your host, and I do models. And apparently electronics? What's up with that? Let's go to the overhead camera. This is going to be, I believe, part 7 of my Nintendo Switch repair. I thought I was in a good spot with some work I did on it, and this is part 7. Now, here's where I was on this. It wasn't charging. The battery management chip was changed on it, and then I put the port was changed. The port's good. The battery management IC is good. It charges a battery. It does charge a battery. So that is a plus. So that was good. So on, let's go here. That. And get the microscope on. So yesterday, one day, not yesterday in my time, but in the release of these videos, it's going to be a while ago, I changed this M92T36 chip on a live stream with some help from the coder. Check his channel out. But I changed this chip. Looks a little bit rough around the edges, but I reflowed the joints twice, and I'm not quite sure if it's that chip. How I put it down, I had some difficulties. It was my first board level chip repair. I did it on a live stream. Unfortunately, the video is not up anymore because I didn't hit the record button. So that was done on a live stream. And I've never changed a board level chip like this before. I did it live on camera. It was pretty cool. I made some mistakes, but I got it down, and it's pretty center on there. So my next option was I checked it. It still wants to charge the battery, and it draws 500 milliamps with the battery, with a half dead battery connected. So with a full battery, it draws nothing. So only thing that seems to be working is the charge circuit. I have voltage on this inductor here during charge and with the battery. My next goal is to check the voltage present on these inductors back here to see what kind of voltage I have on those with the battery connected, because I want to see if I have any of the power rails or what the power rails are doing. Now, I do realize that some of the power rails won't be present when it's not booting up or not turned on. Some of the rails aren't going to be present, but the rail that controls the power, that's going to be present because it's got to have power to wait for the power signal. So I could see if that rail is present, and if it's not, then there would be a slight problem there. So the next option is to change this P13 chip here. I might do that before I go prodding around for voltages. I do want to see the voltages around a few of these inductors. So that's where I stand at this point on this first switch. This is the first one I've gotten. Paid very little for it, and so far I tested the other parts in the unit here. The housing's messed up, but the screen is good. The digitizer's messed up. The battery was crap, but the game card reader, the SD card reader, the game card reader, the fan, and all that was good stuff. So if it just comes down to a donor board, at least I have a good game card reader and a good SD card reader and an LCD. I used LCD if it comes down to it. And also the battery that it came with. Is that still in here? Yeah, the battery that it came with, I'm going to end up using. It's not a Nintendo battery, so I won't use it in a Switch I resell. But this battery I'm going to use to make a power supply cable that I can mimic the battery with my power supply, my singlet SPD 3303XE 3-channel power supply. So I'm going to open this up and remove the circuit board and solder on some leads that go to my power supply, and then I can mimic a battery, and I can also mimic a battery being charged. So that is the goal for this if I can't get it working, changing that P13 chip. So that's where we stand on this so far. I am going to get some stuff set up, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to either change that P13 chip or prod around on this chip for some voltages. I will be back in a bit. Okay guys, here we go. We are going to change this M92 chip on this switch here. I was testing around it. I had changed it in the past on a live stream, and I was testing around it, and I shorted it out. So I am going to change it here. I'm going to put some flux around it. It shouldn't be that hard to change because I just changed it not too long ago, so it's got leaded solder on it. So we're going to get the hot air gun here. And we're going to pull this chip here. Go. Pull the chip. That's that. Let's check the pads here. I don't think I knocked any components. Let's do that. Sorry if I went quiet there. I'm going to get my soldering iron here, and I'm going to run over these pads here. I'm going to put a little bit of flux down. A little bit of flux there. And I'm going to get me a little bit of solder. A little too much. Alright. So that is that. So now we are gonna flip this back around. And I'm gonna get my M92 chip out. Give me a minute, guys. I gotta get the chip out here. These are new chips. Okay, so let's see here. Let's put on some flux This isn't the flux I like to use, but this is what we're doing. This is Amtech flux. Not a huge fan of this for actually setting my chips. So we're going to set that like that. Just like that. And we're going to get our hot air. Wait for our hot air to heat up. Turn on me. Alright, so that looks good. I got a huge solder blob that came out the other end. We'll get that off with the iron. I'm going to heat up my TS 100 because it has the tip I like on it. We're going to that's a little bit off. I'm going to get this solder blob out of there and hopefully not knock off any components. Okay, so that tip's not working. Yeah, I moved a component. Yeah, I got a mess here. Alright, I'm going to have to really work this area out. And I need to slide that chip down. So I'm going to reflux it. And that chip needs to slide down just a little bit. So I'm going to try to nudge those components into place too. There we go. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I totally knocked off that resistor. Yeah, I totally knocked off that resistor, so I gotta put that back on. Let's see if I can get this solder ball out of here. Alright guys, I am gonna pause and find out what resistor that is, and well, first let me get these pins here. Let me just clean up these pins. They're a little bit wonky over here. In case I knock over any more components, I can see what I'm doing. solder bridges in there. Okay, that tip's not into cutting it. There we go. Okay, so they all look good. I just need to replace that one resistor. So I am going to get that value of that resistor and then we will replace it. Okay, here we go, guys. I made some grievous errors on this sitting of this chip. The chip looks good. The pads are a little light in this area because I bridged these three capacitors. First I bridged two and then I bridged all three, and then I was trying to wick the bridge away and I took some solder off the pads. And this resistor is 150K, so I need to replace that. And I need to pull each one of these capacitors off and reset them. Hopefully I can use the hot tweezers for that. I'm not sure. They are freaking tiny. I'm not looking forward to this. I might be doing it on a live stream. And then I also need to pull this P13 chip off. So I might do the P13 chip first and replace that, and then do the replacement of this resistor and the caps all on a live stream. But if I don't do a live stream, I'll come back after this clip and do it on here. And if I do it on a live stream, I'll come back to finish this video up showing you what I did and doing the test of the board. Thanks. Okay, we're back with this switch. I bridged those three caps and I knocked off that resistor. We are going to attempt to put the cap, get rid of the bridges on the caps, and put the resistor back down. I did a 201 resistor on a stream a week or two ago. I'm not sure when this video is going to come out, but let's come up here and I'm going to try a couple different techniques. I have these tweezers here, these hot tweezers. These are OYU hot tweezers. They are significantly better than the ones that I had previously. So I'm going to try these and see if they work better than the ones I had. I also modified my other ones a little bit to see if they were any better. So we're going to see how that works, but let's get the microscope in here and see what we can do on the scope. So we're going to big scope it, and we are going to look at these bridged capacitors here. And as you can see, there are three bridged capacitors there. Now, I could try to get rid of those bridges with some hot air, or I could test the hot tweezers. And I need to apply some solder to this other side of this chip here, and I need to add a 350K resistor to the board. So I am going to get out, I believe that is 201, so I'm going to get out my book of 201 resistors here. So I got my book of 201 resistors. Let's show that here. Let's show my book of 201 resistors here. So that is 150K. So it's 27K. Let's go 182K. So 150K is right here. Let's just pull that out and see. That light moved there. Let's take a size comparison. Yeah, that looks like an 0201. So I'm going to open this up with my tweezers and get out one of these components here. And it just fell on the board, I think. Okay, I hope it didn't fall on the board. No, it didn't fall on the board, so we're going to try to do another one of these. And we're going to try to put it right there. It is. Okay, so I have the component. It is right there. And I'm going to try to put it where it goes. Right there. Now, there we go. We're just gonna alright, so that is sticking to my tweezers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of my chip quick flux here, and I'm going to put a little bit of my flux on that pad right there. I'm not left-handed, so this is becoming a little bit of more of a chore. And now I gotta flip this over. Okay, so I'm going to nudge that into place right there. And then when I do hot air, it's going to... I'm not going to use the tweezers. I'm going to use hot air because that is a tiny component. Let me get this put up here. Get the 150K resistors put away, and then we are going to get this resistor set. I am also going to add a little bit of flux to these capacitors here, or Lewis Rossman amount of flux apparently. So I am going to attempt to hot air set that resistor. And let's go to the big scope. So I am going to attempt to set that resistor and remove those bridges on those caps with hot air. So I have my hot air station. The airflow is about 330, and it is set to 436, and we are going to burn myself on it here. Okay, so I don't want to do that. I want to nudge that resistor back in there. I want to nudge that resistor in there. That resistor to set. Then I want to nudge it around there. Okay, not touching that one. Oh. Nope, not over there. Not on my tweezers. There we go, let's try that there. Let's see if I can get that to set into place. Come on, heat up and set into place. There we go. So that resistor's in place. Let me heat up these caps and see if they will clear their short a little bit. No, don't reflow the chip. Oh. I reflowed the chip, damn it. Alright, let's let that chip settle. Okay, so those caps did not want to relieve their short. Now, is that chip crooked there? That chip is a little crooked, but I'm going to call it okay for right now. I was really hoping I could alleviate those shorts on those caps with hot air, like the flux would. Let me just try again with a little bit more flux. Hoping these caps reflow. I'm going to try to nudge them with the hot air here. Okay, so this chip is all over the place now. Okay, that looks fine. Okay, I can't get those bridges off. I'm going to have to approach it a different method here. Alright, so... Oh... I am having some serious issues here, guys. Let me... Oh, that resistor came off. No! That resistor came back off. Luckily, it's still there. Alright, so there, that resistor's back. That resistor has trolled me forever and ever and ever. So I got to get rid of those bridges still. I am going to talk to a friend of mine and see what he recommends I do. And yeah, I just want to share something with you guys because I was so focused on that I just seared my finger on the hot air station. So I'm going to treat that burn. So I'm going to handle that. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to do the capacitors. Yay. Okay, back here with the burn recovered and back on those caps, those 3 bridge caps. I got the value of them here on my sheet. They're 1 microfarad, and that resistor is 100K, but I don't think 150K is going to make a bit of difference. We will find out. So we're going to go back under the scope here, and we're going to attempt to unbridge these resistors again. So there we go. So I'm going to move this closer because having a little bit of neck issues. So I'm trying to come at a better way to come at these capacitors to unbridge them. So I changed my nozzle on my hot air gun to something smaller, and I'm going to try hot air one more time because I don't think the tweezers are going to do it. So I am going to put a little bit of flux on there, and I'm just going to try to flow them one more time without getting burned. So I'm going to go with 3 out of 9 airflow, and I'm not sure why I can't even move these caps at this point. Oh, hold on. My airflow messed up. That was the issue with that. Okay, so let's try this here now. Another dab of flux to it. The middle one. I'm just trying to... There we go. Now that is all the bridges gone. So I'm sorry I was quiet there. That that was intense. That was intense. So all the bridges are gone. That resistor's down. That is gonna be this for this. We will next. It will be a live stream that will be changing the P13 chip on another switch, and then I will finish the next episode of this doing the P13 chip on this one to see if it works. Well, I just want to thank everybody for joining me in this video. Again, thank you guys so much. We got the bridges done with hot air. We got that 201 resistor done. Just for the record, that resistor is 100K. I had the coder from another channel. He measured the caps for me and the resistors. So from a good board, so we got the value of the caps of 1 microfarad, and we got the resistor as 100K. From what I've done of my analysis, they're pull-up resistors for logic lines. So we'll see. I got some cool stuff going on with that for future episodes, but that's going to do it for this. Here's the links to social media and my Patreon page. Thank you guys so much for all your support and your liking and subscribing. Goodbye.